Have you ever woken up because someone called your name? Not out loud, but inside, in your head. Clear and sharp, as if the voice came not from outside, but from beneath your skull. I didn't believe in things like that, until September 23rd, until the day I moved into room 307. My name is Mark. And if you're listening to this, it means I'm either already dead, or I'm trapped somewhere no one ever returns from. I hope it's the first one. It all started with a notice on the board at the university cafe. A white piece of paper, typed on an old dot matrix printer. The paper smelled of dust, and strangely, of mint. I thought it was odd, but I needed a room, so I called. "Third floor, room 307, Mrs. Harrison said. "You can move in tomorrow." I moved in the next morning. The house stood at the end of a quiet street. Brick, with peeling paint and shutters that creaked even without wind. Inside, it smelled as if no one had lived there. But someone always had. Mrs. Harrison met me at the door, thin, with long gray hair tied in a tight bun. She looked at me as if she knew I wouldn't come back. "Keys," she said, handing me a large iron key with the number 307 engraved on the handle. "Just remember, Mark, don't stay in the room after midnight." I smiled. "What happens if I do?" She didn't answer. She just closed the door behind me. The room was bigger than I expected. High ceiling, old floral wallpaper, a heavy bed, and a large wardrobe against the wall. But the thing that caught my attention was the mirror, huge, full length, standing directly across from the bed. I saw myself in it, but something felt wrong, as if my reflection blinked a moment too late. I stepped closer. My double's eyes were darker. I ran my hand through my hair. The reflection copied the movement. A second later, a fraction of a moment too late, I froze, staring into the glass. "Just old optics," I said out loud. My own voice sounded too loud in the empty room. That night I went to bed around 11. I put my phone on the nightstand and closed my eyes. I don't know how long I slept, but I woke up sharply, as if pushed. The room was dark, only moonlight falling on the mirror, and in that light, I saw my reflection. It was standing by the bed, and it was looking at me. I wanted to scream, but I couldn't. My tongue went numb. The reflection smiled, slowly, as if making sure I could see. It raised its hand and pressed a finger to its lips. "Quiet," it said, in my voice, but with an accent I've never had. I gripped the blanket, closed my eyes, opened them. The mirror was empty. I didn't sleep until morning. The next morning I went downstairs and knocked on Mrs. Harrison's door. She was sitting on a wooden chair with a cup of tea, as if she had been waiting for me. "You didn't tell me there's a mirror in the room," I said, trying to keep my voice steady. She looked up. "A mirror? There's no mirror in room 307, Mark. I took it down 12 years ago." I swallowed. "It's standing across from the bed, large, in a wooden frame." Mrs. Harrison looked at me as if I had just said I'd seen a ghost, and maybe I had. "It can't be hanging there," she said quietly. "Did you hang a mirror on the wall?" I shook my head. "I didn't hang anything. It was just there, when I walked in." She lowered her eyes and said something I'll never forget. "Then it's hanging from the other side. You shouldn't have looked into it at night, Mark. He doesn't like being watched." "Who? He?" She stood up and walked to the door. "The previous tenant. He disappeared in 2012. The police searched for him for 3 days. And then they found his photograph. In the mirror." She paused. "It was in your room, when he wasn't home." I left her room with a cold feeling inside. I went back to the 3rd floor. And the first thing I did was walk up to the mirror. My reflection looked back at me, calmly, normally. I touched the glass. It was warm, alive. And in the corner of the mirror, I noticed writing. Small, almost invisible, scratched with something sharp. It read, "He came from the wardrobe. I met him in the mirror. Don't look where he—" The word broke off. I turned to the wardrobe. The door was open a crack. I didn't go to the wardrobe. Instead, I did what I thought would help. I turned on my phone and started recording. Just to document what was happening. "My name is Mark. I'm in room 307. There's a mirror here. And a wardrobe. The voices start at 2:47 every night." The next night I didn't sleep. I sat in the chair with my phone in my hand, recording the silence. At 2:47, the mirror went dark. It became black, as if filled with ink. And in the depths of that darkness, I saw a silhouette. He stood there, in the mirror, looking at me. A man in his 30s, with dark hair and tired eyes. He didn't move, but when I blinked, he took a step forward. And I heard a voice, inside my head. "Why are you recording this?" I didn't answer. The voice was mine, but it spoke words I didn't say. "You're scared, Mark. That's good. I was scared too." And then, he smiled. Then I understood. He doesn't want to get out. He wants to get in. And you've already opened the door for him. Today. In the mirror, you looked at him, and he saw you. I jumped up. I had to get out. I ran to the door, grabbed the handle, pulled, locked. The handle wouldn't move. The lock I hadn't touched was closed. I pushed with my shoulder. The door didn't budge. "Open it!" I screamed. And in response, from the wardrobe, came a creak, heavy, long, as if someone was slowly opening the door. I turned around. The wardrobe was closed. I had closed it myself during the day. But from under the door, a faint light was seeping through. I ran to the wardrobe and leaned against it with all my weight. From inside, a voice came. "Step back, Mark. You don't want to see what's in there." "That's my voice," I whispered. "I'm the one speaking from inside." "Yes," it answered. "But not you. You're outside, and I'm the one you saw in the mirror. We switched places when you blinked." I staggered back. I looked into the mirror. My face was pale, and my eyes were dark. Too dark. I touched the glass. It was ice cold. My reflection smiled. "Now try to record this," it said. And on my phone, which was lying on the floor, a message appeared. "Recording interrupted, at 2:48. I picked up the phone, looked at the file. It was exactly 1 minute long. And there, on the recording, clearly and distinctly, in my own voice, it said, "I'm not Mark anymore. Call me 307. I dropped the phone, fell to my knees. Cold sweat covered my face. I tried to breathe, but the air was thick, as if the room had become too small. The mirror began to crack, slowly from the edges to the center, like ice in spring. Inside each crack, I saw silhouettes. Many of them. They moved. They came from the wardrobe. They were already here. The voice from the mirror said in my head, "You're not the first, and you won't be the last. But you are special. You recorded this, which means you confirmed it. We exist, and now we can speak, always, inside you." I screamed, but the scream stopped, because in the mirror, I saw my own back, as if the camera had pulled back. I was on my knees, but in the reflection, I was standing and looking at myself. And the one looking from the mirror said, "Now you know the truth. In room 307, there was always only one tenant. We are all one, and we were waiting for you." I turned to the wardrobe. The door slowly opened. Inside wasn't dark. There was a room, my room, with the bed, the phone on the floor, and a man on his knees. But I was here, so someone else was there. I stepped into the wardrobe. Or maybe I just imagined it, I don't remember. I only remember the light, white, blinding, like an old television with no signal, and a voice. "Welcome home, Mark. We've been waiting for you for so long." I don't know where I am now. Maybe I'm still in room 307. Maybe I'm the voice you hear in your own head. Maybe this text isn't a recording, it's a thought. But I want to tell you one thing. If you ever rent a room and there's a mirror in it, don't look into it. If your reflection appears with dark eyes, don't think it's just a trick of the light. And never, do you hear me? Never open the wardrobe. Because in there, it's not things, it's you, the one who's already inside, and he's waiting for you to blink. My name is Mark, but that's not my name anymore. Call me 307. I'll be waiting for you in the mirror. After midnight. Sweet dreams. And if you're not asleep, don't stay up too late. Do you want to know what really happened to Mark? Subscribe to the channel. In the second episode, I'll show you what's behind the wall, or what's inside you. But for now, don't look back.